Good morning on this beautiful Southern California day. What a wonderful time to be outdoors. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, faculty, Board of Advisors members, friends, and honored guests, as the Dean of Western State College of Law, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 51st Annual Commencement Exercises for the College of Law. We are assembled here today to honor our graduates from the classes of Fall 2019, Spring 2020, Summer 2020, Fall 2020, Spring 2021, and Summer 2021. Professor Glenn Capel will now lead us in the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Professor Capel, and congratulations to the 2019-20 and 2020-21 graduating classes. I would like to begin the program this morning by introducing a very special guest who has a lot to do with why we are able to be here today celebrating all of your achievements at Western State. The president of Westcliff University, our parent university, Dr. Anthony Lee. Dr. Lee, if you would please come forward and greet all of our graduates and their families and friends.
Graduates, I am humbled and grateful for the privilege of standing before you today as you celebrate this tremendous accomplishment. All the hard work, commitment, and determination you exhibited during law school has finally paid off. It's certainly a time to celebrate. I want to recognize Alan Easley, Dean of Western State College of Law at Westcliff University, who joins me in congratulating you on your academic achievements. Dean Easley and his dedicated staff and faculty have demonstrated a great deal of their own tenacity over the duration of your law school careers. Please join me in applauding their efforts to get you where you are today. As you reflect back on your journey, be very proud. The challenges you faced the last few years were not easy to overcome, and that's an understatement. This commencement is unique because we're celebrating graduates from the last 2 years, and what a 2 years it has been for Western State and for the world. With bright futures ahead, I do hope you realize how much more significant of an accomplishment this is because of when and how you had to achieve it. Graduates, know that you made it by showing unwavering perseverance and resilience. Those are two important qualities that you clearly possess and will be an important foundation for you as you turn your focus to a career in the legal field. My advice to you today is to forge ahead with optimism and with pride, but always do so with humility and compassion. Those are qualities that have served me well as president at Westcliff University and I believe they will be the key to your future successes as well. No one completes this journey alone. There are very many important people who supported you in your realization of this goal. Some of you fortunate to be joined today, and the others who could not. But please help me recognize all of the parents, family, and friends who helped you reach this milestone today. Western State College of Law graduates, thank you for allowing me to be here today. It's an honor to have you be a part of the Westcliff University family. Congratulations and good luck in your future pursuits.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. I'm going to keep my remarks to our graduates short because there are other speakers on the program today who will provide inspiration to you. And in the end, this is your day. This is a day we've set aside to recognize and celebrate your accomplishments. I know for each of you, there were moments of doubt when you wondered if you could really accomplish all that was laid before you. Well, here you are. You've done it. This is your day of celebration. There are two important groups that helped you along the way, and you've already acknowledged your parents and friends and family who've helped you along the way. I want to say a word to those family members and friends, though. Both the ones that are here today with you in this parking lot and the ones who couldn't be here but were critical parts of your support system who are perhaps watching this on our live stream. I'd like to take a moment to address all of those individuals who are so critical to your success, because I know that each of you who've been part of your graduate support system during law school are aware of how diligently your graduates worked during law school to reach this moment of celebration. What you may not be as aware of, though, although I assure you that your graduates are acutely aware of it, at least those who completed their education this spring, there's still one major hurdle left before your graduates formally join the profession that has been the end goal of this long process. And that hurdle is the bar exam. Those of us on the stage can tell you that it's a rigorous and challenging exam that is taxing not only intellectually, but also physically and emotionally. So for all of you out here who have been the support system for your graduates, I ask you on their behalf to continue to offer that love and support that you have so generously provided during law school for this next critical period, so that your graduates can successfully navigate this final step in their journey. Now, graduates, in addition to your family and friends who've supported you along the way, there's a second group deserving of your appreciation, and that's your faculty here at Western State, who individually and collectively played a central role in your law school experience. In evaluating the strengths of an educational institution, the most important measure of institutional strength is the quality of the faculty. I have myself been a member of 3 different law faculties before arriving at Western State, and I've been an ABA site visitor observing classes at numerous other law schools. So I can tell you from my own experience that the Western State faculty is superb. Your faculty has challenged you and inspired you to work harder, to think more critically, to be more tenacious, resourceful, and creative than you ever thought possible. So now on this day that you're gathered together one final time, I would ask my colleagues who are here on the stage or over in the faculty seating area to stand, and along with those who are watching here in the parking lot and on the live stream from home, receive the recognition that the faculty deserve from you, the graduates, and the rest of us assembled here today. So please give a round of applause to all those faculty members. Now, to the most important people here today, the graduates. There are individuals who will receive recognition today for their extraordinary accomplishments, to whom you will be introduced shortly. There are also individuals listed in the program, which I hope you all have received electronically, who have distinguished themselves academically or as leaders in the student government. As noted in the program, these individuals are wearing special cords of distinctive colors, with the colors signifying their accomplishments. And you'll be able to see those, I hope, as they walk across the stage. But I want to take a special note of one group today whose efforts symbolize the mission of Western State. And those are individuals who will be wearing white cords or white and light blue cords, which were earned by volunteering their time to serve their community. Those with white and light blue cords are being recognized for their exemplary public service, having volunteered a minimum of 200 hours of public service. Those wearing white cords have volunteered a minimum of 100 hours of public service. And both are being recognized for today for their distinguished public service, despite the heavy time demands imposed by law school, along with the time taken by many students to participate in law review, moot court, and student organizations. And despite all of the limitations imposed on all of us by COVID, Western State College of Law students were still able to find the time to volunteer to help religious institutions, organizations assisting the homeless and indigent, as well as a wide variety of legal and advocacy organizations. These two graduating classes together performed a total of 4,254 hours of public service during their law school tenure, 96% of which involved pro bono legal representation of clients. The total number of public service hours represents over 111 weeks, or more than 2 years of voluntary public service provided by these graduates. So would the students wearing public service cords please stand by your vehicles and be acknowledged by the rest of us. Let me close by wishing all of our graduates who are scheduled to take the bar this summer the best of luck as you prepare for and take the bar exam. I have every confidence that you will all take everything that you learned in law school and turn it into success on that exam. And for all of our graduates from 2020 and 2021, I wish you future great success in our noble profession. Congratulations to our graduates, and welcome to all of your friends and family who are here with you today to celebrate with you. Now, Western State has a tradition of selecting the graduate commencement speaker by a competition. This year, because we're celebrating 2 classes of graduates, we have 2 graduate speakers. First, from the class of 2020, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Ms. Brenda Palermo.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your commencement ceremony. Allow me to begin with a special thank you to the Western State professors and administrators. In some of our darkest moments in the past few years, we saw many professors and administrators put aside their personal fears in order to help students find peace and stability. I would also like to welcome our friends and families. Thank you for your unwavering support over the past few years. For those of you who are spouses or partners, you've seen us break down, blow up, and lose our cool, and we thank you for your continued support through it all. Quiero también agradecer a mi familia por su amor y apoyo. Quiero que sean orgullosas de mí para que sus sacrificios no sean en vano. Llevo en mi corazón la esperanza de un mejor futuro para nuestro pueblo. Finally, welcome and congratulations to the Western State College of Law candidates here today. Law school has been a truly humbling experience. It has been an unimaginable challenge beyond the rigors of academic achievements. And we have developed the tools to cope with the stress. Allow me to explain. In 2016, a group of us started our education at Whittier Law School, the first ABA law school to close its program in an era when society does not appreciate the education of women, minorities, veterans, parents, second career students, or otherwise disadvantaged segments of society. Nevertheless, we persisted. In 2019, Western State was hit with the unbelievable news that the parent organization was going bankrupt, and we saw many schools within that organization chain shut the building doors to the students. We didn't know if we would continue as a school, and still we rise. In 2020, a global pandemic has forced the closure of every segment of society, including our little law school. If ever there was a cosmic force that was keeping us down, now I would lift my eyes and plead, my God, why have you forsaken me? And yet here we are. Si se puede. Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing that will keep you down. You can walk into any room among any group with your head held high and know that nothing has been handed to you. Everything you have, everything you've achieved, you have had to fight for it and sacrifice for it. Now go forward into the world and know that the only limit in your life is what you can imagine. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Palermo. She's going to sit right over here, right there, because she's going to be back up here in a few minutes. But our second graduate commencement speaker is from the class of 2021, so it's my pleasure to introduce you now to Dominic Luca.
Thank you, Dean Easley. Good morning, family, friends, graduates, professors, librarians, and everyone in the Western State and Westcliff community. It is an honor to be here with you today. I have to say I'm quite nervous giving a speech, but if anything, from taking a cold call from Professor Shepard, is that I'll also get through this. From its Latin root to initiate, commencement means the beginning. This is the beginning of our next chapter. Commencement's not just about that we have just earned a degree. It's also about looking forward to all the places life will take us after graduation. But first, let us reflect on the journey that we have just completed. 3 or 4 years ago, we decided to embark on one of the most rigorous learning experiences in the hopes of one day joining the legal profession. We learned that Iraq is not just a country, but instead a guiding formula that would soon become the way that we analyze problems. We learned that coffee can be the foundation of a sustainable diet. And we learned that it is possible to learn the intricacies of criminal procedure by listening to rap music. Thank you, Professor Jones and Jay-Z. Unlike those before us, our law school experience was rather eccentric. But as with any situation, when adversity presents itself, it is accompanied by the opportunity to overcome. Western State as a community seized the opportunity to demonstrate its resilience and dedication to providing the requisite legal foundation to all of us. Whether it be Dean Easley being the first person in the parking lot and the last person to depart in order to find a parent university, to retain ABA accreditation, and to prevent the disaster that us students would have suffered if Western State ceased to operate. Or whether it be the compulsory or accelerated transition to online learning amidst a global pandemic. Western State has demonstrated what it truly means to be dedicated to the interests of its students. There are no words sufficient to express the level of gratitude we feel towards Western State and West Cliff, but I do believe that a round of applause is but one of the ways we can acknowledge the efforts of all those who ensured that we would be here today at this commencement ceremony. But what about us, Western State grads? Are we just self-proclaimed intellectuals that would have gone to medical school or become engineers if we were good at math? I think not. The term grit is colloquially defined as perseverance and passion for long-term goals. Each and every one of you would be a fitting example of what it means to have grit and persevere no matter the impediment. And for me, that's how I'm going to remember the Western State grads of 20 and 21, the resilient individuals who refuse to give up despite every opportunity to do so. So now, as we undertake the next step in our journey along the corridors of American jurisprudence, I want to leave with you a call to action. As future officers of the court, we must understand that our voice has become inextricably intertwined with the voice of justice. As stated by the Honorable Judge McShane at her commencement address, justice deserves more voices, not less. The voice of justice for the victim, the voice of calm for the violent, the voice of hope for those in fear, the voice of reason for the mentally ill, the voice of access for the poor who cannot afford legal services, and the voice of humanity for those whose humanity is lost. I have no doubt that we are up to the challenge. We will uphold the quality of justice, and we will change this world for the better. I would like to personally congratulate all of you on the opportunity to avail this degree and reach great heights with its help. It's with the utmost sincerity I say to you, graduates of 2020 and 21, I'll see you in court.
Thank you, Mr. Luca. I would now like to introduce Associate Dean Paul Archegoni, who will assist me as I honor the valedictorians and salutatorians of the classes we are recognizing in today's ceremony. Those graduates have attained the first and second place academic ranks in their graduating classes. As I call your names, Dean Archegoni will hand you the award that you're receiving right here, and there's a camera over there, so make sure you're facing the camera. So Anna Brennan, summa cum laude, valedictorian, class of fall 2019. Eduardo Alberto Dominguez, magna cum laude, salutatorian, class of fall 2019. Brenda Rascon Palermo, summa cum laude, salutatorian, class of spring 2020. Dylan Tyler LaFrance, summa cum laude, valedictorian, class of fall 2020. Dominic J. Luca, summa cum laude, salutatorian, class of fall 2020. Kirsten Baker Welch, summa cum laude, valedictorian, class of spring 2021. And Brianna M. Milligan, magna cum laude, salutatorian, class of spring 2021.
We will now present the 2020-2021 Marsha Blanchard Willard Wilbur Awards for Outstanding Student. These awards are presented in honor of Marsha Wilbur, who served as Dean of Western State for 8 years, from the late 80s to the mid-90s. She had a significant role in shaping the character and reputation of Western State. She is a woman of great courage and integrity who cared deeply for the students, of the school students, and the quality and wholeness of their educational experience. We pay homage to her today by honoring 2 graduates in her name. From the class of 2020, will Jose A. Hernandez please come forward and to accept your award. On behalf of the deans and faculty at Western State, we are pleased to present you with the 2020 Marsha Blanchard Wilbur Award for Outstanding Student. From the class of 2021, Kristen Baker Welch, please come forward and receive your award. On behalf of the deans, faculty at Western State, we are pleased to present you with the 2021 Marsha Blanchard Wilbur Award for Outstanding Student. We would now like to present the 2020 and 2021 Marianne Jones Achievement and Leadership Awards. The award was created in honor of Marianne Jones, who served as Dean and President of Western State from 2004 to 2009. It is presented to a graduating student whose academic achievement, combined with demonstrated leadership, has provided outstanding service to the Western State student community. We honor Dean Jones by presenting this award in her name to 2 of our graduates today. From the class of 2020, will Chelsea Lynn Kruger please step forward to receive your award. On behalf of the deans, faculty at Western State, we are pleased to present you with the 2020 Marianne Jones Achievement and Leadership Award. In the class of 2021, Jose Jaime Pedroza, Jr., please come forward to receive your award. On behalf of the deans and faculty at Western State, we are pleased to present to you the 2021 Marianne Jones Achievement and Leadership Award. Public service is a foundational part of Western State's vision and identity. The school's faculty, students, and graduates have been widely recognized for enhancing the well-being of their communities. At this commencement, we present a public service award to the graduates from 2020 and 2021 who best represent Western State's public service ethic. Our Student Public Service Award was established in honor of Wallace R. Davis, an Orange County lawyer whose life was dedicated to using the law to create justice and opportunity. He created grassroots organizations in Santa Ana, litigated cases aimed at reducing racial disparities in education, and co-founded the Orange County Hispanic Bar Association. From the class of 2020, will Brianna J. Gilberto Herman please come forward to receive this award. On behalf of the deans and faculty of Western States, we are pleased to present to you the 2020 Wallace R. Davis Public Service Award. From the class of 2021, will Daisy Mercado please come forward to accept this award? On behalf of the deans, faculty at Western State, we are pleased to present you with the 2021 Wallace R. Davis Public Service Award. I would now like to invite to the podium Adjunct Professor William Shapiro, who is also a member of Western State's Board of Advisors and will present the Stephen F. Chavez Alumni Leadership Award and the Douglas Schroeder Alumni Leadership Award.
Welcome graduates, welcome family and friends, and congratulations for a job well done. You're finally done. You're now going to be Western State alumni, and I want to welcome you with all my heart. Western State has got a special place in my heart. 43 years ago, I was in your chair or car, and you've made the bucket list for a lot of us on this podium. This is the first drive-up graduation ceremony I've ever embarked on, and I'm pretty proud of that. I've got a new thing on the list. I welcome you as alumni, and I urge you to stay active and be proud of the school you went to. And lastly, I want to thank Anthony Lee and the team for being the great leaders that they were in welcoming Western State as a part of the West Cliff College. I'm really honored to be able to present two awards that are named from people who I knew and respected, and they're very much treasured here at Western State. The first is the Stephen F. Chavez Leadership Award. Steve Chavez was a phenomenal lawyer, but a dedicated, hardworking, and devoted professor here at Western State, who we lost too soon. His commitment to excellence, his devotion to success, not of himself, but to his students, was unparalleled. And what we have is we have two leadership awards that we're giving away, and presenting, I should say, to well-earned recipients who've demonstrated the characteristics that Steve Chavez carried on throughout his life and career. From the class of 2020, will Carlisa Reed please come forward? And on behalf of the deans and the faculty, and I'm going to include the graduates of Western State, I'm pleased to present the 2020 Western State Stephen Chavez Award from 2020. From the class of 2021, will Lindsay Wells please step forward? And on behalf of the deans and faculty and all the graduates, Western State, I'm pleased to present the 2021 Stephen Chavez Award. Congratulations, Lindsay. The next award is entitled the Douglas W. Schroeder Alumni Leadership Award. I knew Doug Schroeder, a phenomenal lawyer, a phenomenal evidence instructor, and just a great person. And we lost him, like Steve, we lost him far too soon. The Leadership Award is given due to recognition of Doug's warmth, his dedication to teaching, and his dedication to the skills of teaching and to his students. He was a member of our Alumni Hall of Fame. He is sorely missed, as is Steve. His craft of teaching, his ability to communicate, and his love for the school and his students is unparalleled. This award is given for his leadership skills, his integrity, and his dedication also to Western State College of Law. For the class of 2020, will Gardenia Margarita Montero please step forward? On behalf of the deans and faculty and all the graduates of Western State, I am pleased to present you with the Doug Schroeder Alumni Leadership Award. Congratulations. And from the class of 2021, will Brianna M. Milligan step forward? And once again, on behalf of the faculty and the deans of Western State, all the graduates, congratulations for the Doug Schroeder 2021 Award. I want to thank you all. I want to congratulate you all. Today you become alumni. It's a special title. Stay involved. Stay connected to the school. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Over the 50-plus years of our existence, Western State has produced more than 11,000 alumni. Many of those alumni have become leaders in the Southern California and Orange County legal community, including over 150 of our alumni who at one time or another have been elevated to the bench. But our alumni have also brought other members of their families into the Western State family, creating a legacy of multi-generational family connections in our alumni community. So I would like to take a moment to recognize all those connections by asking all members of our audience who are Western State alumni to stand and wave from their vehicles or their sitting areas next to their vehicles while we acknowledge their solidarity with our graduates. Our student community has also been enriched by the presence of a number of armed forces veterans. The deans and faculty believe it's important to acknowledge their sacrifices and the sacrifices of those who are no longer with us. So I ask those veterans of the United States Armed Forces, both among the graduates and in the audience, to wave and stand and be recognized by this assembly. Thank you all for your service. I'm now delighted to introduce your commencement speaker. Justice William Bedsworth is the longest serving justice in the history of the 4th District Court of Appeal, Division III, based here in Santa Ana. As you will hear, he grew up in Gardena, the son of a casket maker. He attended Loyola Marymount University, where he played intercollegiate baseball, wrote for the school newspaper, and represented day students in the Student Senate. Justice Bedsworth says that he single-handedly improved the LMU baseball program because when they watched him play, the alumni said, if that's who we're offering scholarships to, we gotta upgrade the program. After graduating from LMU in 3 years, better speed than he ever exhibited on the baseball diamond, he moved on to the University of California, Berkeley for law school. After law school, he spent 15 years as an Orange County Deputy District Attorney, and then he was elected to the Superior Court bench in 1986, and then appointed to the Court of Appeals in 1997. I had a really, really long list of all the awards that Justice Bedsworth has received over the years, but he asked me to cut out most of them. So we're paring it down to a handful. But In 2019, he became the 49th winner of the Orange County Bar Association's highest honor, the Franklin G. West Award. And in 2018, the California chapter of the American Board of Trial Advocates named their highest judicial award after Justice Bedsworth. Though, as he points out, this is their highest judicial award only because it's their only judicial award. He has won numerous awards for his writing, both in his judicial opinions and in his nationally syndicated column titled A Criminal Waste of Space, which Justice Bedsworth himself describes as the most aptly named feature in the dozen legal publications in which it appears. In 2019, the California Newspaper Publishers Association chose that column as the best newspaper column in California, not the best legal column or the best humor column, but the best column, period. Included in the hundreds of opinions he's written on the Court of Appeals is People versus Garcia, published in 2000, probably the first gay rights precedent in United States history. For those of you who are hockey fans, you've probably seen Justice Bedsworth before because he was a goal judge for the National Hockey League for 15 years and proudly sports a Stanley Cup ring on his right hand. Please welcome Justice Bedsworth.
Good morning. Congratulations. In the immortal words of the great novelist Kurt Vonnegut Jr., welcome to the Monkey House. It is my great privilege to be the first judicial monkey to speak to you in your new capacity as fully certified, university-credentialed monkeys. I know you're anxious to get through this and go somewhere to celebrate your monkeyhood, but I've been asked to spend a few minutes talking to you about the next 50 years of your lives. If you'll just bear with me for those few minutes, you can party till the cows come home afterward. The California Supreme Court sits in the Earl Warren Building at 350 McAllister Street. Everyone knows who Earl Warren was, but you probably don't know who has the bigger honor. You probably don't know who the street is named after. To learn that, you have to walk a few short steps to 200 McAllister Street to the Hastings College of Law. At Hastings, you'll find a statue of Hal McAllister, the man the street is named after. And at the foot of the statue are these words: learned, able, eloquent, leader of the California bar, fearless advocate, a courteous foe. That's right, the street is named after a lawyer. And all I have to say to you today is summed up in the 13 words at the foot of that statue. It starts with learned, able, eloquent. Those are things you will never be, at least not to yourself. You will never think yourself learned enough, able enough, or eloquent enough. You will always wish you were better. Accept that fact. Work as hard as you can, and you will be as learned, able, and eloquent as you need to be to represent your client well. But you will never be as learned, able, and eloquent as you want to be. The best lawyers are not the most articulate or the most clever or the smartest. They're the ones who care the most and work the hardest. If you apply yourself to those requirements, you will, at the end of your career, be described as learned, able, and eloquent. Leader of the California Bar, you will be that whenever you choose to be. Leadership is something you earn, not something you get elected to. If you show your peers that you will not tolerate anything but the highest ethical standards, and if you live up to them yourself, you will lead them to adopt those standards. If you set the right example, others will follow you, and you owe it to yourself and your profession to set the right example. A fearless advocate. Folks, there is no such thing. Not literally. No one advocates without fear. We have a federal judge in this county who's an old friend of mine. His name's Dave Carter. Dave Carter was the last officer airlifted out of Quezon. They had to order him off the hill. He was lying there bleeding to death. They had to hold a walkie-talkie up to his ear and order him to get onto the medevac helicopter. And yet, Dave Carter, who became a famous prosecutor of homicides and then a federal judge in this county, once told me, Billy, if someone had come up to me in that moment when the jurors were filing into the courtroom, the 60 people that we were going to choose a jury from and spend a couple of weeks in front of trying this case, if someone had come up to me at that moment and said, Dave, you go on back to the office, I'll try this lawsuit for you, I never would have tried a case in my life. Because at that moment, I was always paralyzed with fear. If Dave Carter, who had faced combat and been wounded, felt that way before every trial, you know you're going to feel that way. A fearless advocate is not one who advocates his position without fear. It's someone who does it despite the fear he or she feels. Despite that churning in your stomach and that horrible voice in the back of your mind that keeps saying, you've got this all wrong, and tomorrow in court, you're going to make a fool of yourself. Everybody in the profession has been there, folks. Everybody's been terrified to go into court or present that memo or talk to the senior partner. It gets better, but it never goes away. Not completely. It's what keeps you working hard. That's what keeps you staying up late and struggling to understand. That's what keeps you rereading over and over and over, trying to get it straight. Get used to it. Accept it. That kind of fear is your friend. It will make you work harder and therefore succeed more. And the last words on that statue are a courteous foe. This is what gets statues sculpted of you. This is what gets streets named after you. And it's what I want to leave you with today. If you get nothing else out of what I have to say, which is distinctly likely, get this. You are going into a profession rife with discourtesy, awash in unkindness, one in which fairness and civility are too often confused with weakness, one in which many of your fellow practitioners will try to cover up their lack of knowledge or diligence by affecting cynicism. Do not make that mistake. If you are cynical about the law, if you begin to see it as a means to self-enrichment rather than a means to fairness and equity, you will find yourself in the HOV lane to hell. Not religious hell, although I don't doubt cynicism will grease the skids on that trip as well, but living hell. The kind of hell where you judge yourself strictly on results and not on effort. The kind of hell where if you're not winning, you think you're failing. And you know why that doesn't work? You know why that winning everything line works so well for Vince Lombardi but won't work at all for you? Follow the logic with me for a moment. How many of your clients, how many of the people you represent will be right? All of them? If you believe that, you believe in Denny Crane and Alicia Florrick and Ally McBeal and the Great Pumpkin, and you're going to spend your entire career getting your professional butt kicked. Unless you limit your practice to securities violations by Buddhist nuns, not all of your clients are going to be right. So how many are? 3/4 of them? Maybe. Maybe if you represent only charitable trusts and orphans, you'll get 75%. Otherwise, no, not 75%. Half, folks. You're going to get half. If you're really lucky and don't practice criminal law, family law, or represent members of Congress, half, maybe half of your clients will be in the right. The other half will be wrong. And it will be your duty to see that they get fair treatment for their wrongness. That is your duty as a lawyer, to protect your client from unfairness, not to perpetrate it. If you allow yourself the cynical view that you are practicing law to make you or your clients rich, to help them win when they're wrong, you will put yourself in a position where you are failing unless you win for people who should lose. Does that make any sense to you? You're smart people. You studied law for 3 or 4 years. Are you stupid enough to think it's a good idea to set a goal of winning for people who should lose? Have you ever, in all the time you were studying law, said to yourself, I want to understand this area of the law really well so that someday I can confuse a judge or jury into rewarding bad conduct? Is that why you went to law school? I'm betting it's not. Our society is betting it's not. That's why we're telling you this morning you're qualified to go out and practice law. Because this institution and the people here who worked so hard to get you to understand the American legal system is willing to bet that you are smart enough to know that your life is too important to be wasted grubbing for money. We're betting that you went to law school because you realize there is no profession which can offer you as much opportunity as the law to do good and make life better for a lot of people. And you know who else is making that bet? Your families, your loved ones. Look around you here. There are lots of proud parents and proud spouses and children. Do you think they're proud of you because they think you're going to make a lot of money and drive a Range Rover? No. They're proud of you because they know you worked hard and you succeeded. And now they think you're going to make life better, fairer, more honest, more just. They think you're going to fight against prejudice and unfairness. They think you're going to treat people with kindness and honesty and integrity. They think you're going to fight to make the world what it ought to be. Do not let them down. Do not give that up to chase the almighty dollar. You can practice law as an honest and ethical advocate, or you can practice it as a hired gun. If you choose to practice it honestly and ethically, you will sleep well at night, your peers will respect you, you will win a lot of cases, and you will win a lot of friends. You will end up like the people on this dais and the people who taught you here, pleased with your life in the law, satisfied that you've done the right thing. Trust me, folks, I've been doing this for 50 years. If you do it this way, you end up without regrets. If, on the other hand, you choose to practice it as a hired gun, you will reap none of those rewards, and you will spend your days looking over your shoulder, wondering when the day will come that comes to all hired guns, the day when you come up against somebody tougher, meaner, and faster. You'll spend it wondering whether your loved ones are admiring your Range Rover or lamenting the things you've done and the person you've become to get it. I don't know about your family, but I can tell you about mine. My dad was a casket maker. In fact, if you listed his entire job history, it would read field hand, U.S. Marine, refinery worker, casket maker, city gardener. The fanciest car he ever owned was a 3-year-old Ford, which sat every night in the one-car garage behind our 900-square-foot house in what would today be known as a high-crime area. But in all the years I've practiced law, I've never met a better man. He had a moral compass he cared about, and he was singularly unimpressed by material goods. I found that I could test my legal arguments by asking myself if I could make them to my dad and look him in the eye. After a while, I found the same test worked for most of my life's decisions. Could I tell my dad I did this without being embarrassed? If I couldn't, I was doing the wrong thing. And the biggest mistakes I've made in my life came when I tried to find a way around that question. The people here with you today will know. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 40 years from now, they'll know whether you did the right thing or sold out. Don't let them down. Folks, you aren't just going into a business. The law is not a business. Let me repeat that because it's critical that you understand it. The law is not a business. That's a 6-word sentence. We wouldn't need to explain it to juries. It's very simple, 6 words. The law is not a business. The law is a profession. That's an important distinction. Apple is a business. Tesla is a business. The 7-Eleven on the corner is a business. Your law practice is a profession. Like medicine or science or the ministry, law is a profession. If you're in business, the bottom line is the bottom line. How much did you make? If you're in a profession, the bottom line has little to do with how much you make. We don't judge doctors by the size of their sailboats. We don't judge ministers by whether they have a 6-bedroom home. And the successful lawyer is not the one driving a Range Rover. It's the one who has helped the most people and promoted a fair and equitable system of justice. Folks, there is no better engine on the planet for doing good than the American legal system. My youngest child is a lawyer today because I told her repeatedly, if you want to do good, become a lawyer. A life in the law gives you more opportunity to do good than any other career. And we judge the quality of that career not by what you own at the end of it, but by who you are and what good you've done. But you will hear, and you will continue to hear, fools tell you it's a business. The subtext of that statement, spoken or unspoken, is that you do whatever it takes to make money. That's simply wrong. It's been 50 years since my law school graduation. 50 years. I've seen a lot of cases won and lost. I've seen a lot of lawyers come and go. And the most important true thing I've learned is that you don't want to be rich at the end of your career. That's not what you're going for. It's nice if it happens, but it's not your goal. Your goal is to be proud and happy. That's what you want to be at the finish line, folks. Not rich. Proud and happy. Trust me, folks, there's a lot of rich people who aren't. And you know what? The good news is that money follows professionalism. In this state, at this time, money flows to the people who practice ethically and fairness. Money flows to the people who treat law as a profession. I've seen it. I've been watching a long time, and I've seen it. We are not a business. We are this nation's warriors of equality. We are its defenders of the rule of law. We are its guardians of democracy. We are the heirs of Washington and Lincoln. and Martin Luther King and Cesar Chavez and Elizabeth Cady Stanton. We are the beneficiaries of Brown versus the Board of Education, Gideon versus Wainwright, Shelley versus Kramer, Baker versus Carr, Griswold versus Connecticut, Obergefell versus Hodges. Folks, we live in the only country on the planet where, in a case called Miranda versus the state, Miranda wins. That's what our profession has accomplished, folks. That's who we are. That's who you will be for the rest of your lives. Practice that profession with pride and honor. Practice it so you can look these people with you today in the eye and tell them proudly of everything you've done. It may not get you a statue on McAllister Street. It may not even get you a 3-car garage. But it will get you proud parents and proud children. It will make your life good, and it will make the world better. That's what you went to law school for. That's what you worked so hard for. And today, it's within your reach. Today, with a law degree in your hand, you have more power to do good and less excuse not to than you have ever had. Don't let anybody talk you out of that. You made this dream come true. Now go out and make others come true. Congratulations to all of you. Welcome to the profession.
Thank you, Justice Bedsworth, for your inspiring and really important words. In recognition of your many accomplishments and with gratitude for the time you have shared with us today, we are honored to present you with a small gift to commemorate the occasion. Please accept our appreciation for your inspiring words and the role you've played in this important ritual.
Thank you all.
At this time, I ask that Associate Dean Paul Archegoni, Professor Glenn Capel, and Professor William Shapiro please join me in honoring the graduates.
Dean Easley, on behalf of the faculty, I present to you the members of the 2019-2020 and 2020-2021 graduating classes who have in all ways met the qualifications for the degree of Juris Doctor.
The Juris Doctor degree is the culmination of years of hard work, dedication, and attainment of intellectual maturity. The graduates here today have completed a demanding and rigorous course of study. They have met the challenges of the faculty and complied with the requirements of the California Committee of Bar Examiners and the standards of the American Bar Association. By the authority granted to me by the state of California, by Westcliff University, and by the Board of Advisors of Western State College of Law, I do hereby confer upon you the degree of Juris Doctor with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Now, we're going to bring the graduates with their personal hooders to the stage, one row of vehicles at a time, starting with the last row of graduates, which I believe is row E, and then moving forward. As each graduate ascends the ramp to the stage, they will present their name card to Professor Capel, who will read their name as the graduate and the hooder proceed to those two X marks right there. To proceed with the hooding ceremony, we have a camera that will take photographs of the hooding itself. And then they'll proceed across the stage and receive their diploma here. There's another camera that will pick that up, and then they'll proceed down on the stairs on that end of the stage. Now, this is different. You know, we're used to being indoors and people clap and yell and they can be heard, and now we're outdoors and you can clap and yell and scream all you want, and it's really hard to hear everybody. So I'm going to go against my initial thought here and invite you, as your graduate is being hooded, to honk your horns to celebrate the accomplishments of your graduates. But I have one request as I give you that invitation. We're not doing this in alphabetical order. Normally, if we were indoors, we would try our best to seat all the graduates in alphabetical order, and we usually come pretty close to accomplishing that. So as the graduates go across the stage, you know when your graduate is coming because they're listed in the program alphabetically. But we could not figure out a way to alphabetically park all the cars in this parking lot. So people are just coming up in random order. And so it's going to be really important that as your graduate's name is read by Professor Capel, that everybody can hear that. So what I'm asking you to do is wait for the name to be read, then during the hooding, honk all you want, and then stop. Because we're going to have another graduate coming up and we want to make sure their name can be heard too. So with that, Professor Capel.
Marshals, please bring the graduates of the classes of 2019-2020 and 2020-2021 to the stage, beginning with the last row of graduates. Anthony Scafidi. Ulina Muradian.
Thank you.
Ryan Kruger. Elizabeth Chavez. Jamie Newton. Adam Fayyad. Lauren Bishop. Angelica Molina, Paula Natalie Garcia. Angelica Molina, mother. Jose de Jesus Michel, and his father, Jose de Jesus Michel Sr. Claudia Leticia Sandoval and her husband, George Anzo. Moises Guedes and his daughter Isabella Guedes and Nicole Guedes. Arturo Suarez Cardoso and his wife Angelica Suarez. Vivian Salang Kim and her father Anthony T. Kim. Christine Hahn, and her mother Janet Hahn. Michelle Aravalo and her husband Eric Aravado. John Dillon and his brother Emmett Dillon. Caitlin Oliver and her mother Avelina Oliver. Nicholas Charles Pfeffer and his father Jeffrey Pfeffer. Fine, thank you. Yadira Davis and her husband Tracy Davis. Lindsay Payette and her mother Melissa Payette. Garrett Valerio and his mother Kimberly Valerio. Nathaniel R. Wood and his wife Crystal Wood and daughter Holly Ann Wood. Heather Berg and her father Rob Berg. Taylor Wheatley and her father, Bob Wheatley. Giovanni Falcone and his mother, Jacqueline Falcone. Bishoy Yakim and his wife, Marlene Yakim. Jonathan Brown and his mother, Arminta Tiggs Brown. Ruhani Sandhu and her father, Jasper Sandhu. John Villanueva and his wife Amanda Villanueva. Shelby Kennick and her mom Marilyn Kennick. Joseph Real and his father Vincent Real. Jessica Olivares and her mother Antonia Olivares and father Agustin Olivares. Tim Louis and his mother May Louis. Cassandra Carlos and her grandmother Maria Lara. Jennifer Corona and her father Juan Corona and mother Maria Corona. Jose R. Gallegos and his mother Lupe Gallegos. Alfred Valerie and his mother Angel Valerie. Cindy Vivanco and her father Chris Vivanco and mother Maria Garcia. Delicia Avery and her mother Barbara Austin. Noel Atura, and her mom, Mireya Atura. Eric Tron, and his mother, Nancy Tron. Laura Holvisen, and her mother, Donna Holvisen. Veronica Ashley Flores and her sister, Genevieve Enriquez. Karl Rupschlager and his mother, Gracie Rupschlager. Sorry? Kaivan Newman and his mother, Nicole Newman. Madison Fodor and her father, Jesse Garner. How did you do it right? Christina Ibarra and her mom, Nikki Ibarra. Congratulations. Sajun Singh and his father, Paul Singh. Shireen Babe and her father, Fred Babe. Elisa Aguilar and her father, Leonardo Aguilar. Nicole Salt and her mother, Marie Salt, and father, Jeff Salt. Yuri Yang and her mother, Kay Yang, and father, Andy Yang. Luis Garcia and his mother, Angelica Rodriguez. Daniel Rod and his mother, Susan Madane and Maurice Rod. John Fan and a friend, Tuan Pham. Deborah Song and her mother, Helen Song. Raquel Remick and her mother, Denise Remick, JD. Carla Villarreal and her father, Carlos Villarreal. Fabi Rivera and her mother Yolanda Rivera. Cameron Patrice Asensio and her father Samuel Asensio. Oh, for Christ's sake. James Siegel and his wife Erin Siegel. Marina Morcos and her father Nashat Morcos. Harrison Fuchs and his father Richard Fuchs. Milad Alipur and his sister, Dr. Mona Alipur, and father, Dr. Hamid Alipur. Karen Amisqua and her husband, Paul Para. Natalie Gonzalez Serrano and her mother, Claudia Serrano. Mila Afshar and her husband, Osina Nia, and godmother, Sohaila Assisi. Brianna Reyes and her father, Mark Reyes. Nicholas Dion and his father, Ray Dion. Stephanie Pachetti and her nephew, Christopher Cruz and Devin Cruz. Thank you. Tanner Ford and his father, Ron Ford. Tamara de la Castro and her mother, Tamara Castro, and father, Eric de la O. Priscilla Besoril Mendoza and her husband, Jeffrey Mendoza. Camila Gopzadeh and her father, Ali Gopzadeh. Megan Ortiz and her mother, Rosario Ortiz. Isaiah Chacon and his great-grandpa, Bobby Francis. Anthony Tamasian and his brother Justin Tamasian and father Gilbert Tamasian. Eric Ha and his father Bruce Ha. Mona Mafutsi and her mother Mitra Shaham. Georgia Kefalinos and her mother Vasiliki and father Nikos Kefalinos. Tao No and her aunt Sen Tran. Tara Yusif and her father Laith Yusif. William White and his fiancée Claudia Chavaria Reyes. Nicole Galvan Ortega and her spouse Jose Ortega. Elnas Mirza and her father Risa Mirza. Amin Sarik and his father Talal Sarik and mother Ida Srik. David Stedman and his wife Monique Stedman. Brianna Hine and her father Brian Joseph and mother Florence Joseph. Kristen Klein and her father William Klein. John Paul Chakbuzov and his mother Abby Chakbuzov. Katie Berwick and her nephew Aiden Ojeda. Jennifer Nakamura and Dean's fellow and friend Alexander Shaban. Dr. Armin Abbasari and his mom Akram Niktash. Ashley Marie Maderos and her father Peter Maderos and mother Carrie Maderos. Ebony Espinosa, and her mother and father, Ginny and Marco Espinosa. Dominic Luca, and his brother David Luca Esquire. Magali Rubio, and her father Ramiro and mother Carmen Rubio. Mika Asurin, hooded by her father Gerardo Asurin. Diana Torres, and her husband Gustavo, and son Elias Torres. Autumn Vanfuris, and her mother, a sister rather, Amber Vanfuris. Jared Banner, and his father, Richard Banner. Brianna Gilberto Herman, hooded by her mother, Arlene Gilberto. Anna Brennan, hooded by her husband, Brian Brennan. Jose Jaime Pedrosa Jr., hooded by his mother, Patricia, and father, Jose Pedrosa. Eduardo Dominguez, hooded by his mother, Consuelo Rojas. Jose. Congratulations. Jose Hernandez, hooded by his wife, Courtney, and mother, Leticia Hernandez. Congratulations. Lindsay Wells, hooded by her boyfriend, Matthew Hicks. Chelsea Kruger, and her mother, Marilyn, and father, Randy Kruger. Brianna Milligan, hooded by her bestie roommate, Yvette Hernandez. Dylan LaFrance, hooded by his fiancée, Emily Shibata. Carlisa Reed, and her niece, Lila Reed. Daisy Mercado and her mother, Maria Quintanilla. Gardenia Margarita Montero, put by her twin brother, Maxidro Montero. Brenda Rascon Palermo, put by her husband, Timothy Palermo. Graham Thomas and his mother, Michelle Thomas. Oh my God, Kirsten. Kirsten Welsh and her nephews, Christopher Cruz and Devin Cruz. Dude, sit down.
Let's give a hand to all the graduates. This ceremony commemorates an accomplishment of which you all can be justifiably proud. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduates of the classes of 2019 to 2020 and 2020 to 2021. Let's join again in celebrating their achievement. The deans, faculty, and staff of Western State College of Law at Westcliff University congratulate each of you. To the families and guests of the graduates, I thank you for being here with us today and for sharing this momentous occasion. This ceremony is now over. Thank you.